Sorry about that. So welcome everyone to today's webinar, which is a collaboration with HelpAge. We are going to be talking about a new and upcoming project on the role of community-based senior services sector in addressing older women's economic prosperity and security. Before we begin, I want to provide our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we gather on the traditional territory of a number of First Nations and acknowledge their stewardship of this land and its waters as protectors of its natural abundance throughout the ages. We seek a new relationship with the original peoples of this land that remains their home to this day. May this relationship be one of peace and friendship based in honor and deep respect. Just a few logistics before we begin. Everyone's microphones and videos are off. We do encourage you to post in the chat box as we go through. And if you have a specific question for our speaker, please put that in the Q&A box and we'll try our best to answer that as we get to the end of the presentation. We will have, we are recording this session, so I apologize. But first, we weren't sure if we were going to, so the recording will be available and we'll put that onto our website after, and we will send an evaluation survey to you to get your feedback. If you have further questions or further topics, or may have questions about getting involved in the project, which we'll speak about today as well. Just a reminder that this is a public forum, so if you have questions or specific issues that you would like to address, please contact us by phone or by email. You can get us our contact information through email on our website, and we'd be more than happy to support you. For those who have just joined us maybe for the first time, just a little bit about our organization, LGBT Prevention Ontario. Our vision is to ensure that all seniors are free from ageism and abuse, where your human rights are advanced, protected, and respected. We implement Ontario's strategy to combat elder abuse, which is funded through the Ministry for Seniors and Accessibility, and we have been doing that work since 2003. Part of our education outreach is to do many education sessions. For those who have been following us, this is our fourth webinar this week, so we have been very busy trying to get a lot of outreach on different topics for our older adults and service providers. We do have a few more coming up as well on December 3rd and on December 26th on gender-based violence, as well as looking at dementia in the caregiving setting as well. And lastly, just if you're listening to more information on podcasts or by YouTube, we do have a new podcast called Aging Vibrantly, Conversations to Empower Seniors, where we do interviews with experts and seniors in the field of aging on different topics. So be sure to check us out if you're interested in listening to some of those conversations. So I want to now introduce our speaker, Dr. Rose Judy. She's a senior advisor and gender equity, diversity, and inclusion director at HelpAge Canada. Dr. Rose Judy leads the national efforts to promote inclusion of older adults who are traditionally underserved, equity denied, or face intersecting barriers related to gender, age, race, culture, or language. Her current work includes a Canada-wide research and policy initiative exploring how community-based senior services sector can advance older women's economic prosperity and security. A recognized researcher, international speaker, and advocate for inclusive aging, Dr. Judy's expertise spans ethnocultural diversity, ageism, older adult mistreatment, and the development of culturally responsive systems of care. Previously, she managed the Way In network at CARA in Calgary, collaborating with governments and community partners to strengthen age-inclusive, culturally responsive support for older adults in the city of Calgary. She serves on the board of Alberta's Association on Gerontology and has leadership roles within the Canadian Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse and the Alberta Council on Aging. So welcome, Dr. Judy. We are so interested in learning more about your project today, and I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone from all corners of the country. Thank you so much for being here, and I really am very grateful to have you in this presence right now. I would like to acknowledge as well that I am in Treaty 7 in Calgary, which traditionally is called McKintis, and I would like to acknowledge the people of this land, and we are very grateful to be able to work and play in this beautiful country. So thank you so much, Rayanne, for that. I will start sharing my slides because I know that time is of essence. And thank you so much for everyone who's here. I can see some familiar names. I'm very grateful for everyone being here and actually listening to something that I'm very excited about. And I want to profess from here on that I will not be able to do this research without your help and support. So this is very important for us to hopefully consider and collaborate with together. Marianne, I'm assuming you can see the slides at this point?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic, thank you. So before I kind of dive into this project, I would like to thank EAPO for hosting this webinar, as well as, of course, you all being here. I also want to highlight that this is our secret for now, I guess, but this project will be funded by Wage, though it is not publicly announced, and so the announcement of this has yet to happen. But I just wanted to be very transparent because I strongly believe that transparency is a foundation of trust. And because we are hoping to work and collaborate with your agencies and your organizations and your people, that we have to be very open and transparent about these things. So just to highlight why you see Wages, I guess, branding or logo there. I will be talking about your role as agencies in building capacity for the clients that you support and serve. And this is a research that will actually promote the financial well-being and prosperity of your clients, as well as yourselves as well, if you are going to be, of course, an aging older woman in Canada too. Before I start with this, I would just like to highlight that my role at HelpAge Canada started recently in October, as some of you might know already, but I have a history of working with not-for-profits and charities nationwide around promoting the well-being and quality of life of older people. And so in the role that I do with HelpAge Canada, we are the only registered Canadian charity and international not-for-profit organization that solely focuses actually on partnering with agencies like yours or with not-for-profit agencies. So we try to funnel basically and direct federal, I guess, support and resources to agencies Canada-wide, and specifically agencies that promote the well-being and want to improve the well-being of the older adults that they support and serve as well. So we bring people together, which is where we are here today. We build partnerships. Again, I will not be able to do this project without your help and without your partnership and co-design. And the aim of this project is to influence policy. So the hope is that we create a deliverable that we can then give to the federal government in order for them to build and promote the economic and financial capacity and well-being of older women. So this is the women that we serve and support today or in the future, including ourselves and people that belong to our network as well. This is the Northern Star, as they call it, for HelpAge Canada. So we believe in that all older people deserve the respect and should be able to age on their own terms with purpose and choice and belonging as well. So I am going to briefly go through this. We do have an agenda, as Rayanne said, it is a bit packed. So I do apologize if there are things that I do go by very quickly, but please feel free to reach out. I am more than happy to have a one-on-one as well with any of you. I'll be talking to you about why we're here, the obvious thing, which is a changing of the fabric and the face of our growing older adult population in Canada, the importance of this topic, financial wellness and well-being, and how it's connected to physical, mental well-being of individuals as well as their quality of life, why we're focusing on women, the role that your agencies have in really spearheading this project, helping me co-design and collaborate on promoting it, as well as how this project will be structured, and inviting you to consider participating in the community of practice, as well as a bit of question I guess an opportunity for Q&A, but also I can share with you some questions that we might be asking your clients in terms of the method of collecting, I guess, this information and this data. So older women in Canada, as you probably know, face significant financial challenges that are driven by systemic factors across their lifespan. Women tend to live longer by about 4.5 years than men do, and they have shorter experiences or opportunities for financial growth and wellness as a result of various challenges. This results in women actually experiencing higher levels of poverty rates, and they are at a greater financial hardship compared to older men as they reach those retirement ages as well. Those challenges are also compounded by many life events, whether it's widowhood, divorce, caregiving, looking after family members, whether they're children or other family members that become dependent on them, as well as, of course, the cost of living that is on the rise. So I'd like to start with really just, if you can, please share in the chat, what is the main goal or mission that your agency or your group has, or values or promotes when it comes to supporting your older adult clients? So if you can share that in the chat with me, and I'll give you a few seconds to type that in. And the reason why I want to ask this question is, before I jump into why we're here today, I really just want to have this kind of reflective opportunity to have you share with me what your agency's main mission or goal is. Okay, and I am sorry if you can see my chat, but I just wanted to make sure that I see that. And I can see independence, knowledge, network, access to resources and advocacies, education that inspires and offers support, connecting older adults living in the community to whatever resources they need to be able to be happy, healthy, and independent. Thanks for that, Kathy. I appreciate that. Inclusion, dignity, and independence. Thank you, Sylvia. Promoting independence and well-being of older adults through advocacy and the delivery of services. And that is the vision as well. Thank you so much, Karen. That they continue to feel valued as they age. I think that is hugely important. Thank you so much for sharing that, Catherine. And I know that you'll be sharing this as we go, so please feel free to do that. And there's a purpose and a point behind that, by the way. And it's not only for us to collectively see what we are doing. Now, many of you here might know each other, some of you may not. And so I value us being in the space where we are here together for a cause, which is to enhance and promote the well-being of the clients that we support and serve, the older adults in our communities, as well as promoting their value, their purpose, for them to live a meaningful life. And I say that with passion because I truly believe in it. And I know that you also believe in it as well, which is why it's part of your vision and missions as well. So I am seeing these words, and it's exactly it. No matter how we phrase it, no matter what we're doing in our communities, so much of what we do, it comes down to helping people live with dignity, live with security, and live with purpose. So thank you so much for you sharing this, and continue to sharing this as well. So our population is shifting, and this is something that might not come as a, super new or innovative kind of conclusion, I guess. But our population is growing. Not only is it growing in terms of the number of older adults, but it's also growing in diversity as well. So this conversation is not a conversation about something that's happening in the future. This is a conversation about the now. So we're here today because our older adult population is growing exponentially. So this growing older adult population, and you probably see that I don't say aging, because aging in itself is a phenomenon that actually occurs from the time that we're born, but it has been somehow associated with only older people. So it's not just older people who are aging. We are all aging. Our children are aging. The younger generations are aging. So when we look at older adults, I usually use the word growing older, but we can use aging interchangeably as well, if that is something that you feel comfortable with too. So the growing older adult population is growing older, and that brings both opportunities, awareness, insights, but it also brings challenges as well, especially for older women, 55 plus, who live longer, as I said, but are often not provided the same opportunities for financial wellness and quality of life. There are approximately 8.1 million Canadians who are 65 plus. I focus predominantly, and this research will focus on 55 plus. So if you look at the growing older adult population that are 55 plus, it is estimated to be around 12.3 million as of July 2025. There are approximately 4.5 million women in Canada who are 65 plus. But if we're going to look at those who are 55 plus, there's actually more than 9.3 million women who are 55 plus in Canada as of July 2025. By 2050, more than a quarter of the Canadian population will be 65 plus. And so that percentage, of course, is going to be higher if we are going to look at those who are 55 plus. So again, it's not just that we're growing in terms of number, we're growing in terms of the diverse fabric of the society. Women's social contributions are specifically undervalued, yet they're very critical. If you think about the person that you serve today, and again, if you feel comfortable sharing that in the chat, I want you to think of the person that you serve and support today. And what is their portfolio like? What's their profile like? Who is it that you serve today? And as you're hopefully sharing that in the chat, I just wanted to share with you that older women, because they make up the larger percentage of those who are going to be 55 or 65 plus, they are the pillars of our communities. Older women in particular are builders of community. They are sharers of knowledge and stories and histories of families and communities and tribes. And they contribute immensely to the unpaid labor, as many of you know, of supporting families as caregivers, as well as the social networks that they belong to. Many women provide care for their family members, spouses, partners, grandchildren, adult children. Many of them are what we call surrogate parents, also raising their own grandchildren. So these often come at a personal cost to their own financial security. When older women are financially stable, they sustain these abilities. They can manage, they can navigate. And when they are supported, they strengthen their bonds with their families, as well as intergenerational bonds as well. The other aspect that I wanted to share with you in terms of why we're here today. This was an image that was shared by Stats Canada in 2025. So this is available publicly. But I just wanted to highlight here, yes, that when it comes to poverty rates for women, if you can see that here, poverty rates for women in 2020 has shifted. And this is as a result of the shift of salaries, etc. So that is sort of the good news, that now women do earn a bit more than they did a decade ago or such. The not so good news, however, is that women continue to live at a huge disparity as the cost of living is actually increasing, as the needs for financial resources are increasing as well. Women still tend to live at a larger disharmony and dishardship. In terms of women who are racialized, immigrant, newcomer women, including our First Nations and Indigenous women as well, they still seem to be at a huge disparity. I do want to point out that we don't have much statistics from our First Nations or Indigenous communities. However, the Stats Canada infograph does point out that women who do come from marginalized, racialized, First Nations and Indigenous backgrounds tend to be at a larger disparity in terms of financial wellness. If we are going to focus on marginalized women or those from ethnic backgrounds or ethnic minorities, such as Filipino, African, Arab, Asian, and Southeast Asian, the graph here shows that women from Arab backgrounds are more likely to experience poverty rates, higher poverty rates than, let's say, Filipino women. And this also could be a result of many factors, like education, experiences in terms of vocation experiences, jobs, and other resources and supports, as well as language barriers as well. So older women, as I mentioned, tend to be at a larger, they experience many barriers and at a larger hardship. In terms of what we know from stats, women who are 55 plus tend to experience dual challenges when it comes to opportunities regarding their financial wellness. So the majority of older women, as they make up the majority of the older adult population, are more likely to experience higher rates of financial hardships due to their life expectancy being longer than men. The older adult population, because of it being the faster growing population or demographic in Canada, tends to experience these disharmonies far more than the other generations or the other age groups. While, of course, they tend to live longer than men, their needs for financial resources and supports then, as a result, tend to be longer as well. And so that makes sense. Because women are living longer, they do need more financial resources. The irony, however, is that they may have had less time to be able to build their financial wellness and financial prosperity due to their number of years of being in or out of jobs or vocations that pay. And therefore, they rely more on federal, provincial, and local resources when it comes to their wellness and well-being. So as I mentioned, this is kind of a projection, again, of the racialized groups in Canada. Canada is not only growing older, but Canada is also growing more diverse as well. So the number of older adults in Canada is growing, but also the number of visible minorities is growing as well. These visible minorities, as I mentioned, include immigrants, newcomers, refugees, etc. They may be the people that you are actually currently serving and supporting right now. The total number, according to Stats Canada 2022, of older adults who are racialized is expected to reach almost 3 million by 2041. And this represents an increase, or will represent an increase of 190% over the next 20 years. So I just wanted to highlight that not only do we need to be mindful of the aging population or the growing older adult population, but it is also growing in terms of its diversity as well. So thinking about the resources that we have and thinking about the resources that our people who are the people that we're serving from these communities, what resources and skills they have or what they need in terms of resources and skills to become citizens that are able to add value and also to feel of value as well. Currently, 1 in every 7 older adults in our communities nationwide are visible minority. And as I mentioned, these are individuals who come from various ethnic racialized backgrounds, predominantly South Asian, Chinese, Black, Filipino, Latin America, Arab, as well as Southeast Asian individuals as well. But then we're also not just growing in terms of that. Our Indigenous and First Nations communities are also growing in terms of the number of older adult population. And I think this is hugely underserved and under-researched as well. So the Indigenous populations in Canada is considered the fastest growing in Canada, but it's also the youngest in terms of average age than non-Indigenous populations as well. They have a lower life expectancy as a result of chronic conditions and other resources and supports that are underserved to the Indigenous and First Nations populations too. I do have some projected statistics because we don't really have ones that I found that were very, I guess, accurate in terms of their resources. But if we're looking at the growth of the First Nations and Indigenous populations, it has more than doubled between 2001 and 2011. So in a span of a decade, it had more than doubled. And this trend is expected or projected to continue to grow. In 2016, the Indigenous older adult population made up 6% of the total Indigenous population. And in 2021, the stats showed that those who stated that they have an Indigenous identity and were part of the Indigenous identity population was about 1.8 million. And this is according to Stats Canada 2021. And from that 1.8 million, 9.5% were 65 and older. And if we are going to kind of do the math there, so that estimates that there were about 171,000 estimate older adults who identified as Indigenous in that 2021 stats. So 171 roughly. And if we were to look at it from that age category of 55 plus, according to that stat number in 2021, almost 300,000 older adults identified as Indigenous in 2021. So there were 300,000 of them in 2021. Women would tend to make up about 165,000 from that stats. So again, these are all projected or estimated because we don't really have accurate data, but it still highlights the importance of us really paying attention to the needs of our Indigenous populations as well when it comes to the older adult population, women in particular, who are making up the fabric of those communities and those families as well. So why are we talking about wellness when it financial wellness? Now, if you've ever been on webinars or presentations where they talk about well-being or quality of life of older people, and if you've heard me also present in some of those webinars, mainly the focus usually is on mental health and well-being, physical health, etc. But what I did want to mention, however, is when we look at the definition of, or look at factors that determine the social health and well-being of people, we really have to look at it from a holistic perspective. We have to include everything that you consider as important factors that promote the health of your client or the well-being of the people that you serve and support. So a key factor that contributes to the financial health and well-being of people, according to the National Collaborating Centre for Indigenous Health, is actually economic health as well. So this is the definition of social determinants of health and health inequities. It refers to the social, economic, cultural, and political factors that promote the person's health. It includes poverty, employment, working environments, education, geographic location and proximity to resources, access to health services, housing, their social status, their social support networks, their food security, language, gender, and culture. So all of those, according to the NCCIH, are determinants of health. We can't focus on one and ignore the others. However, most of the focus has been on other factors. The focus of the research that we will hopefully be collaborating on will be on their financial and economic wellness. But it ties, it's linked to all of this. If you don't have the financial resources, you can't access the healthy food. If you don't have the ability to pay your bills, you won't be able to have a home or a roof over your head or over the head of your families. You won't be able to access transportation. It will be a struggle to be able to pay for some of the resources and services that now require you to pay for them, including health, including medication. So money does tie to all of these factors. The poverty rates for older women in Canada is on the rise. In 2021, the poverty rate for older adult women was 6% higher than men in 2021. Women who are single, who are widowed, who are divorced, who don't have family, who don't have natural supports, are at a substantial vulnerability when it comes to their quality of life and their living. And of course, when we talk about the financial and economic aspects, the gender wage and the pension gap is also a persistent issue as well, where because women had or may have less time in the workforce, they have a lower lifetime earnings in general. This directly translates into an even larger pension gap in retirement compared to men, as well as any opportunities for private pensions or any form of contribution and coverage that is actually based on income. So financial wellness and prosperity is directly linked to all of the beautiful words that you used in your chat when you talked and shared with me and with us about the mission and the vision and the drive of what you do in your agencies. Financial wellness is a social determinant of health. It influences, as I mentioned, access to all those things that promotes the quality of life and well-being of all people, and particularly women in specifically. So housing, nutrition, medication, healthcare services, even participation in social life, social engagement, and social activity requires financial wellness and well-being. So financial wellness, you probably see us kind of interchangeably using them, but they're actually quite different. Financial wellness or well-being is actually defined as, and I'll just share this slide here, as the ability to, sorry, let me just go back a bit, and I do apologize, just so we don't jump ahead if we can. So financial wellness and well-being is defined as the ability to comfortably and feel secure enough to meet your financial needs. It's about having the freedom to make choices and allow the person to freely and willingly enjoy life. And the reason why I say that is because there are research, there's research right now that actually links financial insecurity to mental health and physical health and decline. So there's a connection there. Women who are financially insecure are more likely to experience mental health challenges such as depression. They have a higher risk of physical and chronic illnesses as a result of the lack of their ability to access resources. They're more vulnerable to abuse, mistreatment, and neglect, as well as social isolation as well. Reducing these money-related issues or challenges can lead to, or what I would refer to as financial confidence, can lead to stronger mental health and engagement in community and life as well. Financial prosperity, on the other hand, is a higher level of financial well-being. So financial well-being says, I can pay my bills. Financial prosperity says, I can pay my bills and I have money left to do things that I enjoy as well. So I want you to kind of think about it as we're wanting to ensure that all older women are able to not only meet their immediate financial needs, but they have enough of a cushion financially to be able to do things that they enjoy that may still require financial resources. I don't want my older adult family members to only afford to pay the bills, the necessities, because that's all that they can do, but they're not able to enjoy life, thrive in life, and do things that add value to their quality of life. So the hope of this research that we will be embarking on together is to not only build in that financial wellness. You can see in the title, it's also about prosperity. So financial prosperity actually goes beyond it. It's a higher level of financial wellness. It's where individuals have enough wealth financially to live comfortably, to make choices, not just based on financial necessity. So the relation here is that wellness is the foundation for financial prosperity. And initially, we want to establish that. We want to establish that our older adults have the habits and systems in place for day-to-day control and security of their own financial wellness. And this will build on their financial wealth. And this will help them attain and reach long-term goals of financial prosperity. So true prosperity and wellness is a balance. It's about income and saving. And it's also about the subjective feeling, I can pay my bill and I can enjoy life as well. And I think all older adults deserve to enjoy their lives and not worry about only paying the bills because they can't afford anything else. The reason why we're focusing on women, and I've peppered this throughout, and I know you all know this already, but according to a 2024 report from the Women's Age Lab for older women in Canada, achieving financial wellness is a critical component of healthy aging. It is directly impacting women's ability to manage health expenses and to live life independently and with dignity. So when we support women's financial wellness and prosperity, we're actually strengthening families and we're strengthening communities as well. 68% of older adults living alone, according to Stats Canada 2022, are actually, in fact, women as well. Now, with that being said, we all know that it's not a one-size-fits-all, because not everyone will grow older the same way, and not all women will grow older in the same way as well. So there is an intersectionality. Immigrants, Indigenous, First Nations, transgender, racialized women are often facing additional systemic barriers. There is an intersectionality, excuse me, when it comes to these things in terms of barriers, language barriers, access to pensions. Many women might have lower education or literacy levels, especially newcomers and immigrants, those who don't speak English as a main language. And sometimes it's that they don't know what they have the rights to access. They don't know what the resources and supports are. So I would urge us also in this research to tailor our approaches in ways that matter to the individuals that we serve, because a one-size-fits-all approach does not work. And I'm sure that you all know this already. So the goals. This is where we come to kind of the meat, I guess, of this. The goal of this research is twofold. It's to support you, the agencies, the groups, and support you to support the people that you serve. It's to improve the way that we manage the resources. It's also to find out what is it that are the barriers that might be preventing the people that we're serving and supporting to access some of the resources that we have, and how we can be better. It's also to strengthen opportunities for women, especially older women, because I saw some of the beautiful words that you shared in the chat. It's to ensure that people continue to add value and be valued and feel valued in our communities and in our families as well. So the other goal is to enhance the opportunities for all older women to be able to have leadership opportunities in their communities and in the community sector as well. And how we will do that. So this research comes in 3 phases. The phase that we're currently doing right now, in collaboration with the National Institute of Aging and in collaboration with researchers at the University of Toronto, is that we're trying to understand the issue better. We can't embark on this research without actually understanding the background. What has been done? What is being done? What hasn't been done? And what are the gaps? And how can we add to promote all of these findings to reach that federal level where we can actually be the change makers in terms of financial wellness of older women in Canada. So this is the first phase. The second phase will be the strategic action plan. So here we're going to be developing a multi-year strategy and policy recommendations to influence the systems, to influence the way that we do things. We are taking a gender-based analysis approach. So we are looking at specific groups, low income, newcomers, racialized, individuals who face systemic barriers, First Nations, Indigenous populations, as well as people from diverse backgrounds. And the third phase is the engaging, the learning, and the adapting. We realize that even when we're doing this, it will require some adapting, some learning, some shifting and changing. And this is at the heart of what we should be doing as well. It can't be, this is how we've done this. These are the ways that we've been doing this in the past decade or so, because we know the fabric is changing and their needs are changing as well. So we are hoping to foster a nationwide collaboration, which is why I hopefully will be inviting you to consider joining me in the community of practice. Again, I can't do this together by myself. We will have to do this together. This will be a nationwide consultation in English and in French and in any language that the community speaks as well. We are ensuring or wanting to ensure inclusivity as well. And that is why we're wanting to engage with you, the community-based senior supporting or serving agencies, as well as the health and social sector, as well as government agencies as well. Your role will be the thing that you do the best. You already do this. You provide essential support. You're doing the resource reaching out to the communities and providing them with all of these resources and supports. You provide all of these resources, and my hope is that throughout this research, we're going to build on that. What else can we do? And how can we do it? Most of it will probably require resources, whether they're financial or community resources, but we are going to be doing it together. So this is what you do right now. And I know we can all do continued and better work as well. What I'm hoping this research will also be doing on that higher level is this is why we need to invest more in the CBSS sector. It will expand our reach to all those who need our resources and support. It will deliver the literacy that would be important for people to be able to thrive, to be able to know what their rights are, to help them navigate the intricate and very complex systems that we have. It will hopefully lead community partnerships. We are all doing great work, but sometimes we do it alone. Sometimes we're doing it thinking no one else is doing it. And sometimes we can only do what we have the resources and abilities to do. Yet other agencies nationwide could perhaps lend a hand and help us in some of those resources. I strongly believe that when we collaborate and co-design and talk together, we can do a lot of many magical and powerful things as well. We can innovate, we can develop models. I really believe that we can do all of these things, and we can do it together in the best way possible. And then this is the most important one, in my opinion. It's to amplify the voices of women in policy and in research. You don't have to be a researcher with a fancy education and background to be able to participate and to have a voice in this work. And so the investment here, this is something that you already know already. The investment from community support to community economic prosperity. When we invest in the CBSS, we will strengthen their capacity. In turn, it will strengthen their ability to serve and support and empower their older adult clients, and specifically their older adult women. It will lead to these women being healthier and more powerful and more connected in their communities, which in turn will lead them to experience economic prosperity and wellness as well. You are the heart of this project, by the way. As I stressed, I truly and seriously, actually, cannot do this without you. I am merely the researcher, and I need you. And what I'm hoping that we consider today is this unique position that you have to make this project successful. Your voices and your clients' voices is what matters. Their experiences is how this project will unfold, because you know your communities and your people best. You've already built that trust, and I'm merely going to be walking alongside you to be able to promote the well-being and bridging the connections that you already have with your communities, and helping you shape the way that women are provided resources and supports in the best way possible. So if you'd like to be involved, please feel free to reach out to me by email, connect as well on LinkedIn if that's where you connect to. The way that you can be involved is in terms of multi-layers. So inviting the people that you serve and support will be a fantastic way. We are developing a short survey. In this survey, my hope is that we get 1,000 voices of your clients that you serve and support that will give us feedback in the survey. This is a nationwide survey. 1,000 voices is not a lot, but it might be enough to shift and change things gradually, but also systemically as well. These women are women who are 55 plus, from diverse backgrounds, diverse socioeconomic statuses. In addition to, my hope is that we have 100 women who are volunteers or workers in the community-based senior serving agency sector, because I do want us to explore leadership opportunities for women. The research says that women who work in the CBSS sector, especially older women, are also experiencing challenges as well, in a sense of them being promoted, and the sense of them being valued or adding value as well. So it really is important to hear the voices of the women that you serve and the women who are currently in the CBSS sector volunteering and working as well. The other way that you can also, and I'll just put that here, and this is the thing, if you know me, you know I'm a huge advocate for promoting strength-based approaches. So this is why I want us to think about why we're doing this. Women have lived experiences. They share world experiences and knowledge. They are resilient. They are adaptive. They have the community, the family, and the cultural knowledge. They share. They're the storytellers. They're the anchors of families. They connect generations, and they are the agents of change. So that is what I want you to always think of and consider when it comes to why we're focusing on women and what women can actually provide, older women in particular can provide for this project. The other way that you can get involved, if you would like, is to consider joining the National Steering Committee. So this is the steering committee that it would be made up of about 50 members, nationwide, diverse, from various regions of the country, to bring their voices together to steer and guide this project. So the purpose of the community of practice will be to share, learn. So I'll gather resources, I'll gather the research, I'll gather the data, and then I'll come to the community of practice and I'll share this and I'll ask for your feedback. I'll ask for your input as well. So we'll share the learning, and this will help strengthen the intersectoral collaboration between the CBSS, the governments, and the researchers. We will co-develop recommendations and actions to address all the barriers that could be facing older women. The hope is that the community of practice will be made up of the 5 regions within the country: Atlantic, the Prairies, the Northwestern Territories, the Pacific, as well as Ontario and Quebec. And the structure here is to identify specific barriers based on those regions, to develop promising practices, to pilot some of these promising practices and ideas, and to build local momentum, as well as use and synthesize and share this knowledge too. So when we invest in our community-based senior supporting agencies, we are investing in the economic security, we are investing in the dignity and equity for all older women. Every dollar invested actually in CBSS, and I found that in research, multiplies through prevention, empowerment, and reduces reliance on crisis systems as well. So this project is really grounded in promoting economic prosperity and wellness for older women, and your agencies are a key mechanism to making that happen. And it matters because older women face systemic inequities. They are more likely to live below the poverty line. They are more likely to have unpaid caregiving roles. They're more likely to experience housing and digital insecurities as well. For every dollar in the community prevention support that we put in, it actually saves about $3 to $5 in health and social costs as well. So we do want to see stronger community supports for older women. My hope is that I've done a good job to convince you to join me in this research and in this collaborative. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. And I'm hoping that together we will be able to empower the people that we serve and support, in addition to us building an empowered future for all women, whether it's us or the future generations to come. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This is my contacts, my email. This is HelpAge Canada's website as well, if you'd like to look at the work that we do. And please feel free to reach out. And please feel free to consider joining the community of practice as well. And I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, Rose. It was very educational at the very beginning to give us an overview of the issue and then how the project's going to roll out. There's so many positive comments in the chat
thank
box
you.
about
I
becoming
need
involved.
to save this because I want to read it. Thank you so much. I am very grateful for you being here. I'm very grateful for you to even consider participating. It is hugely important. And like I said, I will not be able to do this without the support of our agencies. And I want us to be a nation that works collaboratively together, because our mission is the same. We all want to enhance the quality of life and well-being of all people, regardless of their backgrounds, race, and ethnicities. So thank you so much for Elder Abuse Prevention Ontario for hosting this as well. I'm very grateful for you.
So there was just a couple questions. People just want to know if we are going to share the copy of the slide deck. if you're willing to do
I'm
that as well.
absolutely happy to do that.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh,
So I'll share
so
that with
after
you.
the webinar, I'll post this onto our
Yeah,
website so people have
100%.
access to that.
Yes.
Okay. And then there's just another question because we know the HelpAge has been working with community-based services serving seniors. The Leadership Council has done consultations across the country. Just wanting to know how this project might be a little bit different than those other consultations that have occurred.
Yes. So this one in particular focuses on the financial prosperity and economic wellness of older women. So that would be our main conversation. We're going to talk about what are the barriers and factors that prevent or challenge older women from experiencing financial prosperity and wellness, how we can overcome those barriers, recommendation. So our focus is on financial wellness and well-being.
And there was just a couple comments from, I believe they may be older adults that are older women that are on the call today. Can they be involved in this initial consultation or in communities of
100%.
practice?
Yes, yes. My hope is that we have the voices, the diverse voices of people who are working within these agencies or are part of these agencies, but also we definitely want the experiences and the voices of women who are experiencing some of these challenges, but also maybe recommendations about what worked for them. So we won't know without the voices of people who have actually lived and gone through these journeys.
Okay, so for those who have maybe indicated an indication that you want to be connected to the project, what I'll do is after the session, forward your emails on to Rose, so she doesn't have to go through all the emails. I have it quite quickly at my hand, so I can forward that on, and then Rose will contact you directly to get involved and give you more information, etc. on next
Thank you
steps.
so much. I am typing my email again just in case, because if I miss seeing your email, please feel free to email me as well, or reach Rayanne and I'm more than happy for her to share my email with you and have a one-on-one and chat as well virtually too. Thank you so much. I'm excited for this. You can probably tell from my voice. I'm sweating under all of this, but I'm so excited because I feel very passionately about this. And I know that many of you here also feel very passionately about it. And we won't be able to do anything without your help and without your collaboration. This is not a me thing. This is a we. This is work that we do together.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you so much for everyone for joining to learn about this new initiative. And we are so excited. I think it's a much needed project to be involved in. For those who might have participated in our webinar 2 days ago, we were talking about economic abuse of older women as well. So we know that this is an issue that needs further attention and policy to direct and make sure that older women are protected as we move forward and as our population ages. So thank you so much, Dr. Judy, and for everybody. It's lots of beautiful comments coming in from the chat box. I will try my best to get the recording up today if possible, if not by early next week. So just check our website under website archives and you should find it there. So thank you all again. I appreciate your participation. Thanks.
I appreciate you
all. Have
all.
a great
Thank you so
weekend.
much. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Bye.